Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I'm afraid this one isn't a happy video at all. My partner, Margaret, she's a busy person. Spoke to her around 3 o'clock this afternoon. She's crazy busy. As she said, she was going to go slanted no, and she wanted to go to the library, which she does a lot because she's an avid book reader. Okay, I'll catch up with you later tonight when I get home from work after I finish. Well, that's what I thought. About 6 o'clock, I'd been out to see one of my customers, and when I got back, I was told I'd had a phone call off Margaret direct to the office, which she never ever does. She sounded close to tears, so I come back out to my car, and just as I got to my car, she was trying to get hold of me. At the time, I didn't know what was going on. It was a little bit like why she rang me at work. She goes on to explain that she'd been in a road traffic collision with a bus. The bus had hit her from behind, and that was what I knew at the time. I spoke to one of the policemen there because he came onto the phone because Margaret was really upset. He explained to me what had happened, and they were waiting for ambulance to turn up, and I didn't realise at the time just how serious the incident was. I've just come off the phone again now with Margaret. She spoke to me for a couple of seconds, and then she passed the phone to one of the fire officers that was attending, and they'd never been out to a hybrid car, or not a hybrid Yaris. He said to me, we don't know how or where the batteries are on the car. Margaret says you can help us. So I've spent 10 minutes talking to the fire brigade, explaining to them where the 12-volt battery is, and then explaining to them how to find the safety plug for the hybrid battery. I understand they've got to disable the cars. So I asked him why they needed to disable the car, and then he went on to explain to me that Margaret was actually still trapped in the car, and they needed to remove the A pillar, the B pillar, and both doors to be able to extract Margaret out of the car. He then went on to explain to me that they had given her morphine to suppress the pain, and then I had another little chat with Margaret, but she's a little bit away with the fairies, I'm afraid, with the morphine. Fire officers said to me, there's no point coming because the ambulance will just rush us straight off to Bottlewood now once they get there. So I'm in that situation where I know as much as I know. I don't know what the injuries are. I really don't know. I'm not asked about the car, that's just a piece of metal that can be replaced. All I'm concerned about is Margaret. So at the moment it's quite stressful. I'm going to continue to work, and I'm just waiting for updates to find out what's going on. Margaret was really concerned when I spoke to her about personal belongings in the car, and I've just said forget it, don't worry about them. I'll sort that out tomorrow when I find out where the car is, and I'll just go and empty the car, because the car's obviously a write-off. That car's never going back on the road, it's destroyed. All I'm asked about now is, how's Margaret? Because I know as much as I know, and I know as much as I've just told you. So I'll let you know on her condition later. It's not a nice place to be, it really isn't. But I've got to get on with what I've got to get on with, and Margaret understands that. And she's actually said to me, just, I'm with the right people, I'm with the best people. Police are here, fire brigade are here. Ambulance are waiting to be turned up, but there is a paramedic on scene, so yeah, it's a bit stressful. Anyway, I'm leaving the video here for now until I got some more updates. I'll let you know how she is. Life. What a start to a new year. Oh, hello and welcome from North Wales Side by Side. Oh my God, tonight is not a good night. Really isn't a good night. Speaks to Margaret, and I mean, she is absolutely devastated and she's in shock. And I just can't get out of her what's happened. And at that point, she said something to somebody, I didn't know who it was at the time. Turns out it was a police officer. And the police officer speaks to me, tells me she's been involved in a road traffic collision with a bus, explains to me that she was actually parked at the side of the road, she wasn't even moving, and she'd only just got into the car and put the keys in the ignition. She was just putting her seatbelt on, and there's an almighty crash and a bang, she says, from behind her. I've spoken to her, she's really, really shook up. I spoke again to the police and I said, does she want me there? And the police officers just said, look, there's no point. We're giving her the attendance she needs and we're waiting for an ambulance. They'll have to assess her. So I'm not sure, as I talk and make this video, even what's going on. I'm not asked about the car I don't give a monkey's about. It's just a lump of metal that can be replaced. My concern at the moment is Margaret. I've just tried ringing her before I make the video, and at the moment she's not answering the phone, so I'm assuming she's either still with the police or she's with the ambulance and they're assessing her. So it really is tonight quite a stressful situation to be in. So until I hear a bit more, I'm just going to carry on talking to the devil. I'm closing this video down. I want to speak to her. Oh, just a little update on what's happened tonight. It took the fire brigade nearly an hour to cut Margaret out of the car. I've since spoken to the ambulance service. They rang me to give me an update, and they have transferred her to a spotty gland fluid. It's 10:05 now. Margaret did say not to come down until everything was clear at accident scene and she'd been transferred. So I'm off now to accident and emergency to go and find her and see what's going on, see how she is. But in all the confusion, I can't get hold of her because she's left her phone with one of the firemen. So she hasn't even got a phone with her at the moment. So the ambulance man told me that, and they're trying to get her phone back off the fire service to get back to her. So I'm just going to make my way down to the hospital now and see how everything is. And I can see this being a long night sat in A&E. Yeah, great, isn't it? She's only had the car a couple of months, but the car's done its job. It's protected her, it's kept her alive, it's kept her safe. But anything that's hit from behind, and it was a Riva double-decker bus that's hit her, so we're talking 17-18 tons of vehicle against what, 1.25 of car, so the car's not going to come off very well, is it? What matters is who's in the car, and as long as they're safe, that's all that matters to me. Margaret's safe. She's been conscious through the entire incident, so here goes. Let's go and see what's going on. I'll bring you another update later. I'm just making these videos as I go through the night. None of them will get posted until I get home, and it'll just be one big long video, but it's in stages as I'm getting news. That's all I can do. And we'll just take it as it comes. It's just one of them things. They call them accidents for a reason. Mistakes happen. I just can't get over the fact that she was parked curbside when it happened. She'd only just got back in the car. She just put the keys in the ignition. Bang. That's it. This is where it takes you. Somebody's lack of concentration. Yeah, brilliant. Anyhow, I'll bring you another update later. Well, I've arrived at accident emergency now. Just got into the car park. The car park's absolutely rammed, so I'm imagining A&E is absolutely rammed. So I'm going to go in now and find Margaret and see what's going on. Right, I've just been into the hospital. Went to reception in accident emergency, and they said she was in ambulance 245. So I've come to the ambulance bay, and there's nobody in ambulance 245, so I've just been back in to see what's going on. And I've just had an update, and they've taken her down to the CT scanner. So the place is absolutely rammed. I'm not sitting in accident and emergency, so I'm going to have half an hour in the car, and then I'll go back in and see what's going on. But she's gone down to CT anyhow, so they're checking her out. I'll have some more news later. They're a bloody joke. They won't even let me go down to CT to find her. all I've been told to do is wait in A&E. So the best thing I can do is wait in the car for another half an hour and go back and see if she's come back up. I can't believe they won't let me go down to see her. How can they do that to her? The one person she needs with her at the moment, and they won't let me anywhere near her. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, I'm going to sit in the car and edit a YouTube video. That's all I can do whilst I'm waiting. Nightmare.